Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Today I want to talk about future plans with the Filipina, and this will take 3 separate videos. The first aspect today will be about leaving your comfort zone. And just a reminder, up at the top there I have a Linktree link that you'll be able to see a book that I wrote, and also find out where I met my Filipina wife. So today, it's clearly important to have basic knowledge of the Filipina you want to marry or you have married, and it's always important to have commonality in certain areas. Having good relationship skills is also a must. However, eventually, if a couple aren't on the same page for their future plans, that could be something that needs to be thought about at some point in time. You might think she's here now with me, nothing's going to change. There may be a lot of changes that she might want to do. So this 3-part series is going to be about some of these types of things. So today I begin the topic of having future plans with a Filipina, and let me know your thoughts, if or when you began to make long-term plans. When did you start talking about these things? Naturally, when you marry a woman from the Philippines, it will be a while before the topic of future plans becomes urgent. I am not exactly how important it is to talk about that when you're dating each other, or even when you get married, because you're focusing, of course, on the present and the immediate future. It's possible you haven't thought very far ahead yet. Now, being married 7 years now, I do have that perspective now. That's why I want to talk about, thinking ahead, or looking ahead. My wife and I didn't talk about that at all when I met her. We just focused on our roles and responsibilities in our relationship. We got married in only 54 days. I figured if we weren't on the same page with, like worldview and our roles in marriage, then that we wouldn't have a future to discuss anyway. Future plans would certainly include all the elements of retirement, but are for mainly down the road, let's say 5, 10, 15 years or so, especially if you're an older guy married to a younger woman. It's possible if the man is older, then the near future and the distant future could be fairly close together. I have in mind myself trying to be hopefully married for, 10 to 20 years, just because that is perhaps more likely. Here are some things to think about, especially true of the foreigner married to a Filipino when it comes to planning for your future. I will mention here to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. If a Filipina has already made the move to leave the Philippines to be with a foreign man in his country, she has already shown a willingness to step way out of her comfort zone. She has temporarily, or at least, left everything behind. I find it remarkable a Filipina would be willing to marry a foreign man so far away from her family to help them out and at the same time be a good wife. I don't think a Filipina is going to be leaving her country just to go through the motions. It costs too much, in my opinion. At some point, I suspect she will want to talk about the future. Now, maybe you are intent on moving to the Philippines at a certain age after you stop working because you might like it there. It's a lot less expensive. Her family's there. But what if she really doesn't want to go back? Some don't. Many do. Some don't. What about children? Have you discussed that? In order to stay together and grow together, future plans should match up. This does not happen by accident, and I think the husband is going to have to make most of the adjustments just for the sake of peace. He didn't leave everyone and everything, like she did. So that's the takeaway here. Before I married and after I married, again, I didn't contemplate too far ahead, and it just happened when it did out of normal conversation. Do you know what would require you to step out of your comfort zone? Marrying a Filipina, or even 20 years down the road after you've been married, there may be some situations that come up now and then that make you think, oh boy, we hadn't thought about that, but now what do I do? Just in marrying my Filipina wife, I already had to go way out of my comfort zone, never my wildest dreams that I think I would go across the world to marry somebody I didn't know very long. And I could add here that if you are aware of the danger of getting scammed and you were still able to find a good Filipino to marry, then you were able to take some risk already to accomplish something that was very important to you, so you can do it. As far as future plans with a Filipino, the same mindset may need to be activated again in making plans with your love beyond the sea. In the next video, I will talk about the importance of keeping an open mind with future plans.